Hey guys, so I wanted to do this and talk about Davos and what took place there this week. Davos, as you probably know by now, is this annual gathering of world leaders and business titans, and usually the President of the United States gives the keynote address. And this year in particular, Donald Trump's speech was more eagerly and anxiously anticipated than ever before, than any president, because of A, he's out of his fucking mind, and B, in particular, the recent inflammatory, dangerous rhetoric about and threats to invade Greenland, which is a NATO territory. It's a territory of Denmark, who's a NATO partner. So that in and of itself, that the United States president was threatening to invade a NATO territory is just wildly insane. And also because of the threat of imposing a 10% tariff on the European countries who weren't supporting his wet dream of taking over Greenland. So off he goes to Davos, and everybody's just waiting on pins and needles to see just how fucking unhinged this speech is going to be, and how terrifying it's going to be in terms of Donald Trump's threats and what he's going to say there. And the other thing, too, is because, the United States has always traditionally been the world's leader. The United States president is leader of the free world. We are the great defender and protector of our allies and of democracy throughout the world. Not anymore, right? So this is why everybody was on edge to see just how far he's going to push this insanity. So I think it's really important to highlight some of the things that happened at Davos, because we've never, ever, 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 have I said ever, ever witnessed anything like this ever before from the United States president. So he goes to Davos. He lies about the economy. He claims everyone in America is happier, that the economy is fantastic. He said windmills are ugly, and anyone who buys them is stupid. He said he's prosecuting those he claims stole the 2020 election. He said next time Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney speaks, he should remember that Canada exists because of the U.S. Oh, really? He said the Prime Minister of Switzerland is difficult and rubs him the wrong way. Switzerland doesn't have a Prime Minister. He mocked French President Emmanuel Macron. He said if it weren't for us, Europe and NATO would be speaking German. Someone needs to remind him that Switzerland's main language is actually German. He said most of the European countries don't even work without the United States. And he said immigration has destroyed Europe. And he said immigration is destroying the United States. Big news, though. He backed off his threat to invade Greenland, but demanded it nonetheless, calling it a, quote, cold and poorly located piece of ice. It just happens to be a piece of ice he's fucking obsessed with, and claims it has such incredible national security importance, critical importance to the United States. Why, if it's just a piece of ice in the middle of nowhere? And this is what really got me. He said NATO has never done anything for us. Someone needs to remind him that NATO's Article 5, which is if you attack one of us, you're attacking all of us, has only been invoked once. Just once. And that was after 9/11, when our NATO allies came to our defense and sent their soldiers to die alongside ours in Afghanistan. Worse, he claimed that the U.S. won World War II on its own. Tell that to France and Great Britain and Russia and the other allies who fought with us and died in battle to defeat Hitler and Germany. What an offensive thing to say. Such an insult to our allies in World War II. Such an insult to our NATO partners. He repeatedly called Greenland Iceland. Multiple times. And yet, in the hours after it, his press secretary, Caroline Baghdad Bob Levitt, literally said to a reporter, he didn't do that. What he said was, Greenland's a piece of ice. Well, no, Caroline. We have eyes. We have ears. We know what we see. We know what we hear. And the man said, Iceland, many times. Imagine if Joe Biden did that. Imagine if Joe Biden went to Davos and kept calling Greenland Iceland. He said it was a small ask for him to request Greenland, but yet he threatened anyone who would stand in his way of acquiring it. But yet again, he backed off his threat to invade it. So he basically said to them, you can do the right thing and give it to us, or we'll remember that you didn't. Oh, you're going to remember. Donald Trump's going to remember it. Oh. He said the Europeans call him daddy. What kind of sick shit is that? He said sometimes you need a dictator. And maybe the most offensive thing of all, although they're all just so fucking offensive, he invited Vladimir Putin to be on his bullshit board of peace. Yeah, that Vladimir Putin, the one who, without provocation, invaded Ukraine, has been waging war for years, seizing its land, murdering its citizens, bombing its cities and towns. That Vladimir Putin has been invited onto the board of peace. Peace. Just let that shit sink in. But there were a few really big takeaways from Davos. The first one is chicken shit taco boy caves yet again. His tariff, foreign policy, and military threats have more fucking U-turns than the Jersey Turnpike. European leaders and Canada's Mark Carney demonstrated that if you stand up to a bully, you can win. You could beat the bully. They sent him home with his little micro dick between his legs. But maybe the biggest takeaway of all, and hopefully this is temporary, but that the U.S., according to Europe and our allies throughout the world, is no longer the world's leader. The American president is no longer the leader of the free world. Our allies, both in and out of NATO, they've lost their faith, they've lost their trust in us, and that was on full display this week. The damage Trump has caused will likely take many, many, many years to repair, if it can be repaired. I think it can be repaired. I believe it will be repaired, but it's going to take a long time. In the meantime, until 2028, man, their gaslighting and their lies is just going to continue, because they're just a bunch of thuggish liars. But as Orwell wrote in his classic 1984, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. Remember that. Remember that. Because we all know the truth. And the truth is that Donald Trump's not going to win. We are going to win. Democracy is going to win. Remember that. Stay positive. Stay engaged. Vote. Make sure everybody you know votes this year. Thanks for listening. This episode was produced and edited by me, Andy Ostroy. It was co-produced by Matty Rosenberg and Jen Hammoud for Radio Free Rhiniecliff, with additional editing by Matty Rosenberg, music by Andrew Hollander, and graphic design by Cricket Lengyel. And with a special thanks to our sponsor, The Epicurean. Again, thanks for listening. Please rate and review wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the Backroom with Andy Ostroy YouTube channel, where you can watch full videos of our interviews. See you next time.